Good evening, and welcome to the June 2nd, 2021 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board. I'll officially call this meeting to order. And those of us that are in the auditorium, Councilpersons Ockenden and Moore, Town Clerk Steckloff, and myself, Town Supervisor, will please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we'll ask for a roll call, please.
Draw.
Here.
Cole.
Here.
LaFountain.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Ockenden.
Here.
Okay, let me read the official notice into the record. And hopefully we'll not have to do this much longer. But again, consistent with COVID-19 virus and closing of town operations, which is consistent with the governor's executive orders, the June 2nd, 2021 Town Board Legislative Meeting will be held remotely via Zoom. This meeting will also be video recorded and broadcast live via the town's website, that's at penfield.org, on the government's Town Government Access Cable Channel 1303, and on streaming media device that includes Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Please search Penfield TV in your device's app store. This is a free app. The meeting will later be transcribed. Questions regarding video coverage, please contact Penfield TV at 340-8661. If you would like to address the board on any matter, there are two public participation opportunities, one at the beginning of the agenda and one at the end. You may participate two ways, via phone, 340-8771, or by electronic submission at penfield.org. Okay, with that in place, we will begin with communications and announcements. And I'll recognize Town Clerk with any communications or announcements.
None this evening.
Okay, thank you. Councilperson Draw.
None this evening, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilperson Ockenden.
No communications, thank you.
All right. Councilperson Moore.
None for me, thanks.
All right. And Councilperson Cole.
None for me, thanks.
All right. I think the only thing that I would just like to add is, again, thank you to our team at Penfield Recreation for the celebration that we had on Memorial Day, celebration of remembrance. Great job by the team. Weather was perfect. It was good to see so many people in attendance. Thank you to Troop 312 who set up and took down. They are just a mainstay with us for all the years I've been in this role as supervisor. Troop 312 has grown with us, and I've seen a number of the young men grow and have attended a number of their Eagle Court of Honor. So special thanks to them. And the Bremen Post, Commander Rick Goff and his team, who are so very, very supportive. So thank you, everyone that participated. It felt good to get back to some sense of normalcy with that event, and we'll look for that to continue to grow as the years come and go. So with that, we will look at our first public participation. Again, there are two opportunities at this time and again at the end of the agenda. And you can do that one of two ways. You can log in at penfield.org. Or you can call in at 340-8771. And I'll toggle the magic button here between those two areas. And we'll give it just a moment to see if anyone calls in or writes in. Again, you can do that again at the end of the agenda, the second opportunity. Seeing nothing on the computer screen, we'll continue to move on. We'll go to additions and deletions to our agenda board. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. And I might just suggest, because I know the minutes didn't come out until after 5 tonight, I just did not get a chance because of Trails Committee in a number of other items. I only saw him just a short time ago, and I might ask if we could hold that to our next meeting, if that was okay with the board. And I would actually make that as a motion to table the minutes until our June 16th meeting.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call vote of approval.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole, LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes.
All right, thank you. Petitions. Since our last meeting, has the board, the town attorney, or the town clerk received any petitions?
No.
Okay, great, thank you. Then let's move on to resolution by function. We'll start with law and finance, please.
Budget transfer in the general code.
Moved.
I'm sorry, general fund, please.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an increase in security safety account is necessary for the continuing costs to provide precautionary measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Whereas the town board approves an amendment to the 2021 adopted budget, increasing the security safety account appropriations in the amount of $12,000 from general fund unassigned balance. Be it resolved that the following 2021 budget amendment be approved. In revenue, under unsigned general fund balance in the amount of $12,000 and appropriations for $12,000 for security contractual services. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion on this board? See no further discussion. A roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Setting a public hearing to consider issuance of a conditional use permit to allow a hair salon at 2094 5 Mile Line Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application was received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to Chapter 250-5.10-B-4 of the Code to allow for a hair salon at 2094 5 Mile Line Road. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on July 7th, 2021 at 7 p.m. on said date to consider said application and to hear all persons interested in the question of the issuance of this conditional use permit. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion. See no further discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Setting a public hearing for issuance of a conditional use permit to allow a nutrition and fitness office and chiropractic office at 1807 Penfield Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application was received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to Chapter 250.5-10-D5 of the Code to allow a nutrition and fitness office and chiropractic office at 1807 Penfield Road. Be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on July 7th, 2021 at 7 p.m. to hear all persons interested in the question of the issuance of this conditional use permit to allow the nutrition and fitness office and chiropractic office at 1807 Penfield Road. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Further discussion, board? See no further discussion. A roll call vote of approval, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization to maintain properties and assess the charges to the 2021 property tax bills.
Moved.
Second.
Mr. LaFountain, I would like to make a motion to add one more property to this resolution. That property would be 560 Embry Road.
Okay.
I'll
Sarah,
second that.
thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded to amend the resolution to include one additional address. Any discussion on that? See no discussion. I'm going to ask for a roll call vote for the amendment, and then we'll move on to the main motion.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'll go ahead and read the resolution as amended. Whereas on December 16th, 2015, the Town Board of the Town of Penfield adopted a resolution to enact Local Law 3 of 2015 entitled, "A Local Law to Provide for the Codification of the Local Laws, Ordinances, and Certain Resolutions of the Town of Penfield into a Municipal Code to be designated the Code of the Town of Penfield." Whereas the purpose of this code includes, among other things, to provide for the safety, health protection, and general welfare of persons and property in the town of Penfield by requiring the maintenance of such properties. Whereas the properties of 41 Woodside Drive, 560 Embry Road, 50 Jackson Road Extension, 42 Penweb Park, 124 Beacon Hills Drive South, 117 Beacon Hills Drive North, 43 Longsworth Drive, and 108 Beacon Hills Drive South have failed to maintain the subject properties in accordance with the applicable code. Whereas the town staff has continually requested the maintenance of subject properties by the owners with no result. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Penfield hereby authorizes building code compliance inspectors to have the properties properly maintained. Be it further resolved that the Town Board further authorizes the cost of said maintenance and any additional necessary maintenance during the 2021 season also be charged to the 2022 property taxes of that particular property. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, seeing no further discussion, we'll be voting on the amended resolution that included 560 Embry Road. So I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorize the supervisor to sign an intermunicipal agreement with the Penfield Central School District.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the town of Penfield wishes to continue obtaining fuel for town fleet vehicles on an as-needed basis from the Penfield School District. Whereas the Penfield School District Transportation Facility includes a fueling depot, and all parties have determined that the cooperative use of this fueling will afford mutual advantages in terms of convenience and cost efficiencies. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign an intermunicipal agreement with the Penfield Central School District for the term of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024, to be reviewed and approved by the Penfield Town Attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for the town supervisor to sign and execute a personnel settlement agreement.
Moved.
Second.
Be it resolved, now therefore be it resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized to sign and execute a personnel settlement agreement satisfying all concerned parties pending Penfield Town Attorney approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorize the supervisor to sign an intermunicipal agreement with Monroe County for the purchase of fuel.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the Monroe County Sheriff's Office would like to continue obtaining fuel from the town's Department of Public Works facility. Whereas the town will be reimbursed monthly for fuel along with administrative fees per the mutual acceptance agreement. Be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to sign an intermunicipal agreement with Monroe County for the term of September 1st, 2021 through August 31st, 2022, with an option to renew for an additional term up to 3 one-year periods upon review and approval of the Penfield Town Attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion? See no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with Good Energy LP to be the Town of Penfield's Community Choice Aggregation Administrator.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the town of Penfield desires to find a way to reduce electricity and/or natural gas costs for eligible residential and small business consumers throughout the town of Penfield. Whereas the town of Penfield adopted Local Law 2 of 2020 in Resolution T20-111, known as a local law to authorize the establishment of a community choice aggregation energy program in the town of Penfield. Whereas Penfield issued a request for proposals for Community Choice Aggregation Administrator on October 8, 2020. Whereas the town of Penfield received proposals from Jewel Assets, Inc. and Good Energy LP to be the administrator of the town of Penfield's Community Choice Aggregation Program and Community Solar Program in response to the aforementioned request for proposals. Whereas the Energy and Environmental Advisory Committee reviewed proposals submitted by Jewel Assets and Good Energy and compiled data in a matrix which was submitted to the town board on April 26th. Whereas the town board work session on May 26, 2020, the town board reviewed the matrix submitted by the Energy and Environmental Advisory Committee and chose to move forward with Good Energy LLP. Whereas the town board of Penfield has determined that Good Energy LP is best qualified to act as lead administrator for the town of Penfield's Community Choice Aggregation Program and Community Solar Program. Whereas the town of Penfield desires to work with Good Energy LP to take any and all steps necessary as required by the New York State law and policies, programs, and orders of state administrative agencies to evaluate, negotiate, and contract for the implementation of the Community Choice Aggregation Program and Community Solar Program if the town of Penfield determines the same to be in the best interest of the town of Penfield. Whereas the Penfield Town Board finds that the exploration of the potential use of the Community Choice Aggregation and Community Solar Program in the town is in the best interest of eligible residents and small businesses, electricity and natural gas customers within the town of Penfield. Whereas the town board recognizes the ability of residents to opt out of the Community Choice Aggregation Program at any time if the town board continues to choose to proceed with any one. And whereas the town board acknowledges the bid price by Good Energy LP to be lower than that of Jewel Assets Incorporated. Whereas the town board acknowledges the value of the 24/7 call center for residents' concerns and questions as proposed by Good Energy. Whereas the town board acknowledges the endorsement of the New York Conference of Mayors and Association of Towns of Good Energy LLP. Whereas the town board finds that the experience and history presented in the Good Energy proposal, as well as the ability to ensure sustainability with potential positive economic impacts, to be a benefit to the town of Penfield. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby approves Good Energy LP to act as a Community Choice Aggregation Program Administrator and Community Solar Program Administrator, and authorizes the necessary town of Penfield officials to work with Good Energy to conduct preliminary analysis, design programs, and procure community solar, electricity, and natural gas from an energy service company, as well as to take any and all steps necessary and required by the New York State law and policies, programs, and orders of state administrative agencies, including but not limited to conducting an RFP to select an energy provider, and to negotiate and enter into such agreement, including power purchase agreements, to facilitate the implementation of the town of Penfield's Community Choice Aggregation Program if the town of Penfield determines the same to be in the best interest of the town of Penfield's electric and natural gas customers. Be it further resolved, the town supervisor hereby is authorized, empowered, and directed to execute and deliver such documents and to take all actions on behalf of the town of Penfield as may be deemed necessary, appropriate, or advisable to carry out the intent and purpose of the foregoing resolutions. Be it further resolved that the execution, delivery, and performance by the town supervisor for and on behalf of the town of Penfield of all such further instruments and documents required in connection with the implementation of a community choice aggregation program and community solar program, in each form and substance approved by the town supervisor, his or her signature thereon being conclusive evidence of such approval, and hereby in all respects approved, adopted, and authorized on behalf of the town of Penfield. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion board.
Mr. Supervisor, real quick, I would just like to thank you for your attention to this matter. The town has vetted this out for over a year now. We certainly were fortunate to have two proposals come forward, and I'm comfortable moving forward with this particular proposal. I think it is an extension of this town's commitment to sustainable and green initiatives, and we see that throughout the town. Certainly with over 1,000 acres of open space, certainly with the recent purchase a couple years ago of the Shadow Pines parcel, over 200 acres there, with the solar array that we have at the Highway Department, reducing costs for utilities here at the Town Hall, which ultimately saves taxpayers money, to the 3 electric charging stations throughout the town. I don't believe any other town in Penfield has 3. And then certainly your commitment to the Energy and Environment Advisory Committee that we have here in Penfield, which I also believe no other town has a committee like that dedicated to promoting sustainability, green initiatives, and open space. So I want to thank you for that, and certainly hope that when we move forward with this program, that it is in a positive way and saves taxpayers money. I think we all, as residents of this town, see high utility bills, and if we can do something to help lower those utility bills, I think it's worth looking into and giving it an opportunity with collective purchasing of energy to provide lower utility bills to residents here in Penfield. The one question for the record that I do want to ask you, Mr. Supervisor, and I believe I have asked you this question in the past, but since we're talking about this resolution today, I thought I'd ask it again, and that is, as we go through this process and it is determined that it is not going to save residents any money on their utility bills, meaning it could cost more to residents on their utility bills to proceed with this community choice aggregation or CCA program in Penfield, do we as a town have the ability to pull out of this agreement and not proceed any longer with it?
So the easy answer is yes.
Okay.
I will share with you that after the work session last week, Thursday around noontime, I did have an opportunity to speak with Ed Carey from Good Energy, and we spoke about the path forward. His team is ready to go. One of the things that he indicated was that they have a very robust program of making sure that our residents are fully up to speed on the program. They do that via town hall meetings. They do that with small groups. They do that with mailings, website, and a number of other things. But the thing that struck me is that what Mr. Carey shared with me is that as they go through this process, and if they find that they cannot provide savings to the town, it would be their recommendation to shelve it and to revisit it at some appropriate time to come back and do that. And it seems to me that between the educational process that they're proposing, and they've just recently shared all of that with Sarah Waterman, who's kind of been leading our effort on the town staff side, that and the fact that they're looking to have their team come here over the next several weeks to sit down and to lay out probably a 8 to 9 month program from kickoff to actually, getting everything up and running. I think that their commitment to making sure that we provide green energy to the town, and we do that at a cost that saves our residents money. So, long-winded answer. The first part of that answer was yes, was the easy part, but I think the backstory is important, for everyone to understand.
Well, I thank you for that answer, and I appreciate you giving me that long-winded answer, because I think it's worth stating and worth talking about for residents to understand a little bit better what the ultimate goal and objective is. I also just want to point out, too, and reiterate again in the resolution that Good Energy, who we chose to be the administrator of this program, is endorsed by the New York Conference of Mayors and Association of Towns. So it has statewide endorsement from hundreds of municipalities of all different sizes. And I think that is a good thing, builds confidence in moving forward. But also with CCAs, we see those growing not only across the country in other states like Massachusetts, Ohio, Illinois, and New Jersey, just those are states here in this part of the country, but also in Monroe County in general. We now see the town of Pittsford, the village of Pittsford, we see the town of Brighton, we see the town of Arundecoit, also the city of Rochester, and I believe some other towns are now starting to take a real serious look at providing more green energy, but also providing lower utility costs for their residents. So again, Mr. Supervisor, thank you for your leadership. Certainly, I plan on supporting this based on what was said in the resolution and based on your comments here tonight. Thank you.
Further discussion?
I just want to thank you for leading this, Tony, with the EEOC and all the help from Sarah Waterman. I think everything's been covered between Andy, the resolution, and Andy's Q&A with you. I think we've covered everything really well tonight. But, just thank you for keeping it moving and all the work that was put in, especially by Sarah Waterman.
Yep. And I would also like to add, Mr. Supervisor, that when I talk about the Town of Penfield's Energy and Environment Committee, you act as liaison to the town board to that committee, but it is a resident-led committee, not just a committee with town staff and you as supervisor. It is a resident-led committee that has helped get to where we are today.
Great, thank you. And I certainly would be remiss if I didn't recognize all the members of that committee and the work that they put in over the last 9 months from time of development of RFP to analyzing the work that both Good Energy and Joule / Rocktricity provided and their attention to detail. They did a great job and represented the town very well. So thank you. All right, thank you for that, board. I'll ask, seeing no further comments, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Draw,
Aye.
Cole,
Aye.
LaFountain,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign a contract with Bergman PC for an existing conditions assessment and evaluation services of the Clark House.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign a contract not to exceed $72,260 for services with Bergman PC, 280 East Broad Street, Suite 200, Rochester, New York, to provide an assessment of the existing conditions of the building shell and provide recommendations to evaluate the building repairs required to rehabilitate the Clark House located at 600 Whalen Road. This resolution and the proposal submitted by Bergman PC shall constitute the contract. This agreement to be reviewed and approved by the town attorney. So be it further resolved that the town board approves appropriation of $72,260 from the unassigned general fund balance as an amendment to the 2021 budget for these evaluation services. Thank you.
Discussion.
Mr. Supervisor, may I just like to add, I think this is a great next step for what, taking a look at the, what the repairs are that are needed at the Clark House. I know we've discussed this at work sessions. RFPs were sent out. I believe we have had about 5 responses. I think Bergman, a PC, answered our questions to the best for what we will be getting as far as an assessment and evaluation of what that property looks like. Is it in need of some repairs? We know that it probably is. How much they will need and what we can do as far as to get the standards that we need it for the to get that building hopefully back in shape. And if not, we can assess what needs to be done and then take it as a further decision and further discussion with the town board. So I appreciate, Mr. Supervisor, you bringing this to us and getting a chance to really delve in and look at these proposals. So I'm very supportive of what Bergman is offering us to the town.
Okay. Thank you, Councilperson Draw. Other questions or comments?
Yeah, Mr. Supervisor, real quick, I agree with everything Councilwoman Draw mentioned a few moments ago. I mean, the fact of the matter is that the building was constructed in 1832, and it's almost 190 years ago, pre-Civil War, that building or that house was constructed. And it really presents a time right now where we need to get our arms around what needs to be done to that building, both good and bad. We've got to have an honest assessment of what needs to be done to that building and what those costs may be. So I think that this is that next step, as Councilwoman Draw said, taking a look at that and giving this board the information and expertise that we need to make the decisions on what we're going to do with the Clark House moving forward. In 1832, almost 190 years ago, it was built. Andrew Jackson was president when that was built, and it was pre-Civil War. So it definitely needs some help, but we need to get some professionals in there to tell us where that building stands today, and this is a step in getting that information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion? Okay, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the town supervisor to sign 6 recreation contracts, and they're for summer programs and concerts this summer.
Great, thank you. Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote of approval, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. This brings us to old business. Is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none, is there any new business to come before the board this evening? Again, seeing none, this is our second opportunity for public participation. Once again, you can do that one of 2 ways. If you're here if you're at home, you can call in at 340-8771, or you can log in at penfield.org, and hopefully down the road here, we'll be able to have folks back here in the auditorium. So as I give it a moment, I think it's appropriate just to update everyone where we are from a 4th of July standpoint. We are moving forward with holding our parade. We look forward to having some nice weather. Folks being outside, being able to spread out and take advantage of the parade, and a lot of work is now going into that by our rec team. The question that I get asked is, what about the Harris Whalen, and what does that look like? And the big item on the table, and I've had conversations with the elected officials, and also I've reached out to Health Department and some guidance from the state. As everyone knows, we do get approximately 5,000 to 7,000+ people for our fireworks, And so we're making sure that we're following the right due diligence for that. We have not received any final approval of that, but we're continuing to at least make the appropriate plans with the caveat if we have to cancel at least the fireworks and the music, we'll do that. But the parade will definitely go on. And stay tuned. As soon as we know from our state, county representatives and input from others, we'll get that information out. So with that, as I toggle through, I'm not seeing any calls, and I'm not seeing any emails coming in. Therefore, the June 2nd, 2021 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board will stand adjourned at 7:36 p.m. Thank you to everyone that participated, and thank you to our team at PCTV for making all of this technology happen seamlessly. Thank you. Be well, be safe. Have a great evening.